It's a pleasure to be here with you and all of our partners, the men and women who work on the front line on a day-to-day basis across the Commonwealth and working with our veterans and making sure that our men and women in the military who are returning home are aware of the services that they and their families have earned, both at the local level, at the state level, and at the federal level. And it's something that we have worked hard to make sure that we are partnering with you in as many ways as possible. Let me just say, today is a good day. Today is a good day because we've been able to, through the great advocacy of members of the legislative delegation and others, because we've had 3 months now of state revenue going the right way, we've been able to restore services, outpatient services, to both the Holyoke Soldiers Home and the Chelsea Soldiers Home. And I want to acknowledge the members of the delegation, particularly the Western Mass delegation. Mike Kane was left out, I think, earlier, but he's right in the middle of it. And we are not like the federal level. We can only spend what we've got here at the State House, and these are tough times. And we're proud of the record, working with members of the legislature, working with you and many of the veterans organizations and groups that, as Rich mentioned, over the last 3 years, in the worst economic times since the Great Depression, we have been able to continue to fund increased caseload and funding needs of Chapter 115. That we have continued to fund our homeless programs and shelters for our veterans. That we have continued to work to make sure that we recognize the new challenges that our men and women who are serving in Iraq and Afghanistan and the war and terror are facing by signing legislation that was on Veterans Day, which expands the eligibility and the amount that men and women in uniform can receive on their welcome home bonus. We have worked to make sure that those men and women who go off to serve their country and leave their business and leave their livelihood, that when they come home, that they get a preference for state contracts, so that will help them get that income and get back to work as quickly as possible. We've worked to make sure that Massachusetts, unlike in previous conflicts, isn't the last, but one of the first, to make sure that we recognize those men and women who gave the supreme sacrifice in Iraq and Afghanistan, and working with 2 gentlemen who are here today, working with OEF veterans of Massachusetts. This building, where, as Rich said, there is so much history, this will be home for the Massachusetts Memorial, recognizing those men and women who have been killed in Iraq and Afghanistan in the war and terror. And I want to thank two Marines who have helped lead that effort in creating a statewide organization for Iraq and Afghanistan veterans who are here today, Ken Isaacson and Dominic King. If you could give them a round of applause. Your advocacy, your debate, your discussion, and your work is important. After years of it being dormant, Governor Patrick reestablished the Governor's Advisory Committee of Veteran Services so that we can understand some of the regional needs and new challenges facing men and women who served and those who are coming home. And we have been able to make strides in a lot of different areas. And